Hello, I'm Raj Chengappa, and welcome to this special program on the best performing states of India in 2022. We will be presenting the results of the much awaited India Today State of the State survey. And to do this, let me now introduce my guests on the show. I have Abhishek Agrawal, who's the Executive Director of MDRA, a leading market research agency. MDRA, by the way, is our research partner for the survey for the past 5 years now. And I also have with me Kaushik Deka, the India Today Executive Editor, who oversees the report along with me. So let's begin by asking, why are such surveys important? And that's because while we tend to focus on the performance of the central government, we have often to remember that India is a union of states, a federal system where states have untrammeled power over key issues of development. So there is a simple mantra that we need to keep in mind. If the states prosper, India prospers. And the next is, how does one assess the performance of our states? Now, since 2003, India Today magazine has been doing this annual survey called the State of the States. And the idea was to objectively rank how India's 28 states and union territories perform so that it creates a spirit of competitive but cooperative federalism. So how does one assess the performance of states? We have it here, Abhishek Agrawal, who's done the survey. I know, Abhishek, this is rocket science for a lot of us, but can you break down simply? We've been doing the State of the State survey now since 2003. It's 20 years. It's our 20th anniversary. How do you assess the state, and what are the parameters that go with it?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chengappa. I think this 20th edition of India Today State of the State survey was done across 12 major categories. So to conduct this study, this was conducted based on 200 plus evaluation parameters or indicators which were carefully selected in order to make these evaluations objective based on empirical evidence. Only factual data of performance of the states were considered. We have not taken any perception data.
So what you're saying in effect is that you have decided 12 parameters, and these parameters span key subjects, whether it is health, environment, inclusive development, governance, economy, agriculture, and the list is around 12. From that, you deduce something like 189 parameters that you will look at, which are figures really.
Correct. In fact, for the, total there are 125 plus 89 parameters, which we looked at. In fact, if you look at the data for the past 5 years, we have looked at a humongous set of 14,430 data points.
So, Abhishek, let's just drill that down further. If you take education, for instance, what are the key parameters that you would look at to judge a state?
To look at these outcome parameters, we have, for example, in case of education, we have looked at total what kind of expenditure the state government does on the education, the kind of literacy rate they are getting, the gender parity index, the pupil-teacher ratio across all the institutions, the dropout rate, number of higher education institutes as well as number of elementary education institutes, and so on. Apart from that, number of central universities, national institutions of importance have been taken.
And these, I would gather, are the latest statistics that are happening, that is up to 2021, 22. We are not being dated because getting stats and statistics in India
so
is
for
an
example, we have two categories here. One is best performing. So for that, we take definitely the latest data 2021, 22.
Right.
And for the most improved, we take last 5 years data and then calculate compounded annual growth rate.
I think that's a very important distinction because we are trying to also assess how states have improved over the years. Kaushik, earlier we used to just do the best performing states. Now, the innovation to do the most improved states had an impetus. Would you just tell us what is the various ways you've tried to make the studies more robust in the last couple of decades, or not decades, but last 10 years or so?
So actually what happened when we used to do best performing, evaluation of best performing states earlier, so certain states which had legacy advantages like Maharashtra, Punjab, Gujarat, these states had already done lots of improvement compared to states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh or several other states. So they kept winning. They were always at the top 5. These states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, all those states which are considered Bimaru, they didn't get that encouragement because the improvement levels are not always uniform. Certain states perform under certain time frame. Certain states already had advantages, like we saw with Punjab, because it had performed earlier. So based on that legacy, it used to, if we evaluate them on absolute numbers, they would always charge ahead.
So what in essence you're doing is taking historical legacies away,
yes, sir.
and ensuring a more even playing ground.
We are trying to provide an uniform level feel.
Before we come to the results, I know you're all waiting for the results to come out, is the fact that we have divided into big states and small states, and the definition of that is that if there's a population of 5 million or more, and if the size of the state is 35,000 square kilometers or more, that becomes a big state, and the small states are those that are less than that. Now let's come to the big results for each major category, which we feature in the latest issue of India Today. I'm showing you a copy. It's just out in the market. Let's begin with the best performing big state. This time's winner is once again Tamil Nadu, which, as we know, is headed by Chief Minister N.K. Stalin. A close second comes Himachal Pradesh, Kerala comes third, Gujarat fourth, and interestingly, Punjab comes fifth, ahead of Maharashtra. So that's the top 5 in the big category. So Abhishek, why did Tamil Nadu emerge on the top again?
So if you see Tamil Nadu, it's doing extremely well in almost all aspects of performance. So out of 12 categories, Tamil Nadu is among the top 5 states in 9 categories, and among a top 3 in 5 categories. That itself reflects an inclusive development story of Tamil Nadu. Performance of Tamil Nadu has been exceptionally well and consistent across key categories like economy, health, education, infrastructure, law and order. If you see, the CM itself has made a very, very bold statement of making it a $1 trillion economy by 2030. So
yeah, when we're talking about the Chief Minister, we've actually got an interview with the Chief Minister. I had gone down to Chennai to talk to him. And let me play out what he really said, what he felt about winning the award, and what are his top priorities.
I'm Raj Chengappa, and I'm with the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin. In the India Today State of the State survey in 2022, Tamil Nadu has emerged as the best performing large state in the country. And for that, congratulations, Mr. Stalin. What is your reaction to winning this award? What do you feel about winning this award?
சென்றாண்டு முதலாண்டு நிறைவேற்றப்போ இதே இந்தியா டுடேயில் இந்தியாவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய முதலமைச்சரில் முதலமைச்சர் நம்பர் 1 முதலமைச்சர்னு நீங்கள் கருத்து கணிப்பு வெளியிட்டிருந்தீங்க. அப்போ அதை ஏற்றுக்கொண்டு இந்தியாவில் முதலமைச்சருங்கிற பேரை விட இந்தியாவிலேயே முதல் மாநிலமாக தமிழ்நாடு வரணும், அப்படிதான், அதுதான் என்னுடைய கொள்கை அப்படின்னு சொன்னேன். இப்போ அதை நீங்கள் வெளியிட்டிருக்கிறீங்க. தமிழ்நாடு முதல் மாநிலமாக தமிழ்நாடு விளங்கி கொண்டிருக்கிறேன்னு அந்த வகையிலும் ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன், பெருமைப்படுறேன். இது இன்னும் என்னுடைய பணிகளை ஊக்கப்படுத்துறதுக்கு, உற்சாகப்படுத்துறதுக்கு நிச்சயம் இது பயன்படும் அப்படிங்கிற நம்பிக்கை எனக்கு இருக்கு.
What is the mantra of your success?
அதாவது மக்களாக இருக்கணும், மக்களோட இருந்து மக்களுடைய பிரச்சனை அறிஞ்சு அந்த அடிப்படையில் நம்முடைய பணிகள் செய்யணும். இதுதான் அண்ணா எங்களுக்கு கற்றுக் கொடுத்தது. அதை கலைஞர் செஞ்சார். கலைஞர் வழியில் இன்னைக்கு நாங்கள் அதை செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். அதுதான் எங்களுடைய மந்திராவுடைய நோக்கமாக இருக்கு.
And you took over Chief Minister 1.5 years ago. What is your main priorities that you've given that makes the state so good?
அதாவது நாங்கள் ஆட்சி பொறுப்பு ஏற்றுக்கிட்ட நேரத்தில் ஒரு பெரிய தொற்று, கொரோனாங்கிற பெரிய கொடிய தொற்று அதிக வேகமாக பரவிட்டு இருந்தது. அது அந்த நேரத்தில் தான் நாங்கள் ஆட்சிக்கு வரணும். அதாவது வெற்றி பெற்று ஆட்சி அமைக்க போகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி என்னை சந்தித்த அரசு அதிகாரிகளில் வாட்ச் சொன்னப்போ நான் அவங்கள வச்சு அப்பயே ரிவ்யூ மீட்டிங் போட ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டேன். ஆலோசனை கூட்டங்கள் போட்டு இந்த கொரோனா எப்படி தடுக்கிறது, எப்படி பண்ணுறதுன்னு. அதுக்கு பிறகு ஆட்சி பொறுப்பேற்றுக்கு பிறகு அதுக்காக நியமிக்கப்பட்ட மக்கள் நல்வாழ்வுத்துறை அமைச்சர் அவர் மட்டும் மக்கள் நல்வாழ்வுத்துறை அமைச்சர் வேலை பார்க்கல. நான் உட்பட எல்லா அமைச்சர்களுமே ஹெல்த் மினிஸ்டர் மாதிரி அந்த பணியில் ஈடுபட்ட காரணத்தினால தான் நாங்கள் அதை கட்டுப்படுத்த முடிஞ்சது. அது ஒரு பெரிய சாதனையாக நாங்கள் பண்ணணும். அதற்கு பிறகு தொடர்ந்து தேர்தல் நேரத்தில் நாங்கள் என்னென்ன வாக்குறுதி கொடுத்தோமோ அந்த வாக்குறுதிகளை முதல் கட்டமாக ஒரு 3 கையெழுத்துக்களை ஆட்சி பொறுப்பேற்றுக்கிற உடனே கையெழுத்து போட்டு அதை நிறைவேற்றணும். தொடர்ந்து அதை நிறைவேற்றி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். எங்களுடைய காலகட்டத்தில் நிச்சயமாக தேர்தல் நடத்த கொடுத்த வாக்குறுதியில் நிறைவேற்றுவோம் அப்படிங்கிற உறுதியோடு நாங்கள் இருக்கிறோம்.
Now, Tamil Nadu has also won the #1 place in inclusive development. If you can, that means, in terms of the way it has brought all the people into all the welfare schemes. What is your vision for that, inclusive development?
எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லாம், அதாவது உயர்ந்த ஜாதி, தாழ்ந்த ஜாதி, நடுத்தரவர்களுக்கும் பிற்படுத்தப்பட்டவங்களுக்கும் அப்படிங்கிற பார்க்காம எல்லா மக்களுக்கும் எல்லாம் கிடைக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற உறுதியோடு நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய பணியாற்றி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அதனால தான் சமூக நீதி, சமத்துவம் அதற்கு முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுத்து அந்த அடிப்படையில் எங்களுடைய ஆட்சியை நாங்கள் நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம்.
In terms of fitness, you seem very fit. What is it that you do? What is your way to relax? What is it that you like to do when you have some free time?
அதாவது நான் சிறு வயதிலிருந்த விளையாட்டு, உடற்பயிற்சி இதில் அதிகமாக கவனம் செலுத்துவேன். அந்த அடிப்படையில் தான் இப்போவும் அது எதிர்கட்சி தலைவராக இருந்ததும் சரி, உள்ளாட்சித்துறை அமைச்சராக இருந்ததும் சரி, துணை முதலமைச்சராக இருந்ததும் சரி, இப்போ முதலமைச்சராக இருக்கக்கூடிய நேரத்திலையும் என்னுடைய உடற்பயிற்சியை தொடர்ந்து செஞ்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்கிறேன். உணவு விஷயத்திலேயும் கொஞ்சம் கட்டுப்பாடு, இதுதான் வேணும் இதுதான் வேணாம் அப்படிங்கிறது கிடையாது. இருந்தாலும் சாப்பிட்றது கூட கட்டுப்பாட்டோட, அதாவது ஒரு வைரமுத்து அடிக்கடி சொல்லுவார், பசியோட உட்காந்து பசியோட எழுந்திரிச்சிடணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார். அந்த அடிப்படையில் தான் கட்டுப்பாடாக நான் இருக்கிறேன். அதனால என்னுடைய உடல் கட்டுப்பாடாக இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது நான் நம்பிக்கையோட இருக்கேன்.
If Tamil Nadu emerged as the best performing big state, now let's come to the winner of the most improved big state. This was a closely fought race, and this time we have Assam back as #1. It had won it earlier, but it's lost its place last year to Bihar, and Bihar has been pushed to the 4th place this time. This year, Andhra Pradesh comes second, and Madhya Pradesh third, with Gujarat at 5th position. So, Abhishek, what tipped the balance this time in Assam's favor? We could see it's a very close race in terms of the number of points, but what finally made Assam get the prize?
If you see 2018, 19 and 20 results, in fact, Assam had made a hat-trick. So, it had topped the most improved chart among the biggest states thrice. So, if you see, Assam has been very consistent in terms of development in almost all the key parameters. If you talk about the 12 categories, out of 12 categories, it comes among the top 10 states in 11 categories.
But what tipped the balance this time? I know it's the #1, but what was the one factor that pushed it ahead of...
In fact, see, we are looking at a lot of data. So, only one data will not make it at the top. There are a lot of data. For example, it has negative unemployment rate.
Right.
Its economy is growing very fast. It has witnessed significant improvement in agriculture, law and order, tourism.
And partly, I think, Kaushik, is the leadership issue in this. You have Himanta Biswa Sharma come as Chief Minister. What is the difference? You've gone and talked to him about his style of functioning, his mantra for success. What came out in your interviews with him? What is the key point?
If we look at Himanta Biswa Sharma's style of functioning, then it's 24/7 governance. He starts his day at 8 in the morning and his officers stay awake till 3 in the morning. So, and 24/7 they are connected through WhatsApp, phone calls, emails. The service delivery process in the state, they are strengthening that, and their entire focus is how the central funds that come in or whatever resources that state has, because we must not forget that Assam is resource crunched. And how they utilize that fund in the most effective way. That's the key focus, and that's what is making the change. Of course, the leadership issue is there, but also there is a legacy issue in a sense that since 2011, for the first time Assam became most improved #1 state in 2011, and since then, as Abhishek mentioned, thrice it had a hat-trick. So, consistently it's moving towards the top, and the state is performing because we must remember that earlier there was no peace in the state. Earlier it was known for insurgency and many other things. Now there is a political stability and peace which is connecting it to the mainstream, and that's why Assam is reaping the fruits of all the development projects.
Now let's turn to the small states and let's look at the best performing small state. Here we have Goa again regaining the top slot, which had yielded last year to Puducherry. Puducherry comes second this time, followed by Sikkim at third place and Mizoram at fourth, with Delhi coming out fifth. To understand Chief Minister Pramod Sawant's mantra for success, my colleague Anilesh Mahajan spoke to the Goa Chief Minister at Panjim. Here is what he said.
कोविड के बाद में पूरी इकोनॉमी रिवाइव करते वक्त नबार्ड, सिडबी और आरएक्सएल प्लेटफॉर्म जिस तरह से हमने यूज किया, मुझे लगता है कि हमने जो हाई इंटरेस्ट लोन थे विच इज 13%, 9 से 13%, या ऑल लोन वी हैव रिवाइव एंड वी हैव हमने 7% से नीचे उनको लाया। हमने RIDF रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट के लोन जो नाबार्ड से मिलते हैं वो ज़्यादा यूज़ किए, सो दैट वी गॉट दैट इन द 2.5% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, जो पहले हम 7%, 8% से लेते थे, इसलिए हमें पॉसिबल हुआ। द सिडबी के लोन अगेन फॉर द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन द इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में मिलना चाहिए था, वो लोन हमें अगेन 2.5% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट से हमें मिले, और स्पेशली द आरएक्सएल प्लेटफॉर्म उससे जो विदाउट इंटरेस्ट वी हैड पेड द MSME लोन, दैट इज अ बूस्ट फॉर द गोवन इकोनॉमी, मैं ऐसे समझूंगा। और सभी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट हम कोविड के बाद उसी वास्ते हम कंप्लीट कर सके, और इसी वास्ते विच इज रिवॉल्विंग फंड्स जो फिर से इकोनॉमी में आना चाहिए था, वो उसके इसी कारण आ सके।
And finally, let's look at who has emerged as the most improved small state. In this, there are no surprises. Manipur has scored a hat-trick by winning it for the third consecutive year. It is ahead of Mizoram, which comes second, Arunachal Pradesh, which comes third, Sikkim fourth, and Nagaland fifth. Abhishek, a brief word as to why these two states won quickly on both Goa and Manipur.
Okay, so Goa traditionally has been doing quite well. It is in fact the per capita income is very high if you compare with a state like Puducherry. Its per capita income is more than double. If you look at the national per capita income, Goa's per capita income is more than 4 times. So it's consistently doing good in tourism, in infrastructure, inclusive development, and cleanliness, where other states are not doing that well.
I just want a quick word from Kaushik about Biren Singh, the Chief Minister over there in Biren Singh. He must be very happy to know that he has again won a hat-trick, and you had met him. What was his reaction when you spoke to him, and what is his key mantra for success?
He says that because he was a journalist, he always knew the pulse of the people. That's what helped him.
I'm not sure we do, but still.
So he says that being a journalist and being a former footballer, these two things have helped him a lot, because first he knows the pulse of the people, and then he is result oriented, as a footballer would be always seeking to score goals. The third thing that he said is that his prime focus after he took charge first in 2016 was to bring peace to the state, and I saw that myself. I had travelled to the state earlier before 2016, and Imphal, the capital, would shut down after 5, and now people are there on the streets mingling around, partying till 10:30 at night. That's a totally different Manipur I saw, and I believe that made a lot of change.
Well, a quick final word from you all. What is the most important quality in terms of for a state to win this award?
I think that consistency is very important. So until and unless they are consistent in all parameters of performance, they cannot be at the top. If you see the examples of Tamil Nadu, Assam, that's very important.
And Kaushik, what did you see as your key takeaway from this?
Policy and execution. Probably all states have the policies, good policies for people, but those states who have focused on execution part, they have moved ahead.
Well, I just end up with this. When I spoke to Mr. Stalin, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, what struck me was his whole development model, which was growth, economic growth with equity. I think the winners of this show are complete, as you were saying, consistency, there's policy, but there's also this tremendous balance across all these 12 key development parameters. We would have, of course, love to discuss all of them in detail, but we'll have to wind the show now. The latest issue of India Today has all the, not only the big winners, but also the winners of the 12 categories. It's out in the stands. You can read it and assess for yourselves. Thank you for watching this special show on India Today State of the State Survey 2022.